doing multiplying polynomials day 2. So go ahead and write down number 1. That's a review problem from yesterday. Go ahead and write it down on your paper. 9x parentheses 7x plus 4. All right, Daniel, what do you have to do first on number 1? Good. Without a calculator, Daniel, what's 9 times 7? Give it your best guess. 63. Remember with the 9s, you can do the trick. I know, right? Okay, so Daniel, what else? It would be 63. What else do I have to put beside the 63? Very good. X to the second, because here's an X and there's an X, so it's X to the second. Haley, what else do I have to do on this one? Haley, what's 9 times 4? And what do I have to put beside of it? Good. That's my final answer because I can't put these two together because this one's x to the second and this is x to the first, so I can't add those. All right? Number 2, write it down. All right, Dylan, what do I do first? Which is what? Just 6x or? Yep, 6x squared, because here's an x and here's an x. Zaria, what else do I multiply the 2x by? Very good, all the way down here. So that gives me 6x. Jesse, what else do I do? All right, so what would that be? All right, so what would this be? Negative 3 times positive 3x. 3 times 3. Negative 9x. Okay. Chuck, what else do I do on this one? Which is negative 9. Okay. All right. Ethan G, is that my final answer? All right. What do I have to do? All right. What's positive 6 and negative 9? Let's do a chart for that. Positive 6, negative 9, move the smaller one. So do I add or subtract these? And it gives me negative 3. Okay, and drop down the other stuff. So you get 6x squared minus 3x minus 9. Okay. All right, that's a review from yesterday. All right, number 3, 2x plus 3 and 2x minus 3. All right, Ethan H, help me start it. It's not 2x squared. 4x squared, good. All right, Chad, what else do I do? Very good. Gracie, what else? All right, what is that? Positive 6x. And Tamara, what else? What's that? Very good. Okay. All right, Dylan, what else do I need to do up here? And what does that give you? This one's negative and this one's positive. So what do they do to each other? They cancel out. So you're left with 4x squared minus 9. 4x squared minus 9. All right, number 4, x minus 4 to the second. X minus 4 to the second. All right, Chuck, what do you got to do when there's a, what do you have to do first on this one? What? Gracie, what do you got to do first on this one? Very good. You have to write it twice. That's what you have to do first. Write it twice. X minus 4 and X minus 4. Tamara, what do I do from there? Okay. Ethan G, what next? What's that? And then I'm going to do my bottom lobster claw, negative 4x. Dylan, what's a negative 4 times a negative 4? Negative times a negative is a positive 16. Okay? All right, and Jesse, is that my final answer? What happens? What's that? Very good, Jesse. Okay. X squared minus 8x plus 16. All right, good job, guys. Here we go. Number 5. X minus 3 times x plus 3 plus x squared plus 10x plus 25. Do y'all remember that thing from middle school? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sarah. What does the first thing tell you to do? What, Jesse? Parentheses. PEMDAS is what some teachers call it. P stands for parentheses. What does that mean to do with parentheses? Do them when? First. So the first thing I have to do here, I'm not going to worry about any of that. The first thing I'm going to do is lobster claw. That's what I'm going to do first. So x times x is x squared. So please write this on your paper. Then I'm going to do x times positive 3. So that's positive 3x. Then I'm going to come down to the bottom. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. And then negative 3 times positive 3. What's a negative times a positive? Negative. And what's 3 times 3? 9. Okay. This stuff, I'm going to drop it down. This stuff is going to be dropped down. So I'm going to drop down the plus x squared plus 10x plus 25. I'm dropping it down. Okay? Now, this time you'll notice there's lots of stuff to be put together. Let's start at the very beginning with that x squared. What can I put with x squared? Very good. The other x squared. So, what number do I put in front? Sorry, right here. A 1. Right here I put a 1. What do I put right here? A 1. What is 1 plus 1? 2. X squared and x squared. Does it stay x squared? Good. It stays x squared. When you're adding, you absolutely do not disturb the exponents. Okay, I'm going to mark these out. Those are done now. Okay? Then I'm going to put the 3x, negative 3x, and the 10x all together. Okay? I'm going to put this one, and this one. Let's start right here. What's positive 3 and negative 3? Very good. They cancel. So I'm just left with plus 10x. And I'm going to cross it out because I've already dealt with it. Okay? All right. Zaria, what can I put with the negative 9? What number's left? So I'm going to do my chart for this one. Positive 25, negative 9. Move the smaller one. Move it, lose it. Do I add or subtract? Subtract, and that gives me 16, and it's positive 16. All right. So that's my answer. All right. Write down number 6. 3x minus 2 and x minus 3 in parentheses plus 16x squared minus 25. You're welcome to start it on your own, or you can wait and do it with me. All right, Tamara, what am I going to have to do first? Multiply what? Good. And what that gives me what? Dylan, what else do I do after do 3x times x? Okay, so positive times a negative is a... So look, a positive times a positive is a positive. A negative times a negative turns into a positive. But if the signs are different and you're multiplying, it's always going to give you a negative. Okay? All right. So a positive 3 times a negative 3 is a negative. And what's 3 times 3? 9. Okay? And I have to put x with it. Okay? Zaria, down here, what do I multiply the negative 2 by? X, right here. So I'm going to do negative 2x. And Gracie, what else do I have to do? Which is? Very good. Okay. Daniel, what am I going to do with this stuff? Very good. Okay. All right, Tamara, what am I going to do from here? Good. So what's that going to give me? If I put them together, negative 9 and negative 2. Very good. All right. Dylan, what else do I need to do up here? All right. So Dylan, I'm going to do a chart for this one. So negative 25, positive 6. What has to happen on the chart? All right, so that gives me 19. Is it positive or negative? Negative 19. Okay. And Chuck, what else do I need to do up here? Good. 16x squared goes with the 3x squared. That gives me 19x squared. All right. 19x squared. Okay. All right. Number 7. Take a minute and write it down. Okay, guys, so we're going to start this one the same way. So I really need y'all to pay attention for the next 60 seconds, please. So right here, I'm still going to do my lobster claw. So x squared plus 5x. Okay, y'all know how to do this by now, so I'm going to go a little quicker. Then underneath, plus 2x plus 10. Okay, so that's my lobster claw. Y'all know how to do that. Here's what's different here. What do you have right here? A minus and then parentheses. What did we learn a long time ago about a minus and then parentheses? Change your sign. So on your paper right now, this negative changes to a positive, but I have to start with this very first thing. Is x squared positive or negative right now? So this changes to a negative. You have to change this one. Negative x changes to a positive, and negative 20 changes to a positive. So you have to do that little extra step. That's little, but a lot of people forget that, and they'll get it wrong on their test. So you've got to remember that step. You've got to take the time to do it. All right, so now I'm ready to drop this down. Minus x squared plus x plus 20. So don't drop it down until you've changed your signs. Change your signs first, okay? All right, Tamara, what am I going to do next up here? Is there anything else? So Tamara, what's that going to give me? Very good. And guys, then I'm going to mark them out so I know I'm done with those 3, okay? Chuck, what else do I need to do up here? So this is 1x squared and this is negative 1x squared. What happens? They cancel. Ladies and gentlemen, do we see this? 1x squared and negative 1x squared cancel? Yes? I hope y'all have this all written down when I'll go walk around. And Haley, what else? Which gives me? All right, so my answer is 8x plus 30. Okay. All right, number 8. 3x minus 4, 2x minus 5, minus 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. All right, Daniel, what do I do first up here? Which is? Good. Ethan H, what next? After 3x times 2x? Good. Dylan, help me with the bottom lobster claw. Yeah, good job, Dylan. You got this. And Ethan G, what else do I multiply negative 4 by? Negative times a negative, Ethan G? Positive what? 4 times 5. Very good. Okay. Gracie, am I ready to drop this stuff down? What do I have to do? Good. Jesse, what else do I have to change? Very good, Jesse. The 2 becomes negative. Chad, what else changes up here? The 2 becomes negative. What else? The 3 becomes what? Negative. And Gracie, what else changes? And negative 2 to a positive. Okay? So, Dylan, what am I going to drop down? What am I going to write right here? Good job, Dylan. Thank you. Okay, Haley, what goes with 6x squared? What does that give me, Haley? Good job. She did her chart, guys. That's what she was doing on her paper, doing her chart. Ethan H., what else goes with negative 15x? All right, Ethan H., negative 15 and negative 8 is plus another negative 3. Good, Ethan. That's great. Very good. And Daniel, what goes together last? What? Which is 22. All right. Here we go. All right. Number 9. It says, find the area of the shaded region. Find the area of the shaded region. So where's the shaded region up there? It's the solid part. That's the shaded region. So what we have to do is find the big box. What else do you think we would have to find? The little box, and then we got to take away the little box. So think about this. If you find this whole big box, and then you took out the little box, would you be left with the shaded region? Yes. Okay, so step 1, is to do the big box. Okay, so step 1, yes, you need to write that. Step 1 is to do the big box. So that's what you do first. You're going to find the big box. Okay? Now, the key word is area. And, guys, you have formula sheets. Okay? You can use them on your quiz. You can use them on the test. What does the formula sheet say for area of a rectangle? Multiply the what? The 2 sides, the length and the width. Okay? So, x plus 4 times 2x minus 6. Area means to multiply. So we're going to multiply x plus 4 and 2x minus 6. Okay, so we know how to do this. X times 2x, anybody? 2x squared. X times negative 6. Okay. 4 times 2. Good. And 4 times negative 6. Negative 24. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and simplify that. Let's put these two together. What's negative 6 plus 8? 2x, and I'm going to drop down the other stuff. Okay, so that's step 1. That's the big box. All right, so step 1 is the big box. Okay, what do you think step 2 is going to be? The small box. Okay, so step 2 is the small box. We're finding the area of it. So step 2 is define the small box. Okay. All right, let me pull the picture back down. All right, so the small box, what's in the first parentheses? Good, and what's in the next one? Good. Okay, so the small box, again, we're multiplying those for the area. Okay. All right, x times x. All right, x times 9. 1 times x. And 1 times 9. 9. Okay. And what two things can be put together? Which is 10x. Okay, the last step. So this is a 3-step problem. This is a 3-step problem. The last step is to do the big box minus the small box. We got to take out, we're going to take the big box and we're going to take away the small box. That's how we're going to be left with the shaded region. We're going to take the big box and we're going to take away the small box. Okay? So my big box, I'm going back up to here. It's 2x squared plus 2x minus 24. That's my big box. Put a minus in between them. And then the small box was right here. X squared plus 10x plus 9. Okay? Please write the steps so you can have that to look at, the words. Okay, what do we do when there is a minus in between them? Change your signs. So this becomes a plus. What else changes to a what? What about the 10x and the 9? Okay. Now we're ready to put these together. We don't have to do any more lobster claw. We're done with that. Okay. What goes with 2x squared? What number do I put here? -1. So what is 2 minus 1, guys? 1, and I put an x squared next to it. Okay, so I'm done with that. Jesse, what am I going to put with positive 2x? -10. So what's that give me? Yep. 8. Right? Okay, mark those out. Tamara, what do I put with -24? I'm going to do my chart. -24, -9. What do I do when they're on the same side? Add them. Line up, add up. Line up, add up. So that gives me 33. And that's negative. Okay? So that's your answer. Is that a lot of work? It's a lot of work. Are you smart enough to do it? Yes. Okay? Y'all are all smart enough to do it. It's deciding whether or not you're going to be lazy or not. That's the question here. Okay? Last one. Find the area of the shaded region. All right. Jesse, what did we say the first step was? Thank you, Jesse. Yes. Tamara, how are we going to find the area of the big box? And? Good. And Ethan G, what are we going to do with those? We're going to times them. Good. So 2x times 7x. Anybody? 2x times -2. Good. 4 times 7. Good. And 4 times -2. Good. Chuck, what does this simplify down to? Which gives you what? What else do I need to put? And? Good. Okay. So that is step 1. That's your big box, okay? Chad, what is step 2? Good. The little box. Sorry, what 2 things give me the little box? 4x and what? Hey, guys, up here. I'm like an owl. Look up here. Look, Daniel, look up here. Right here. What do I multiply 4x by? X. What does that give me? Second. What else do I multiply 4x by? What does that give me? Is there a bottom lobster claw on this one? No, there's no bottom lobster claw. Okay. All right, so that's it. All right, now we're ready for step 3. Okay. Dylan, what is step 3? Okay. All right, Ethan G, what goes in the parentheses for the big box? Okay, minus, then another parenthesis. Tamara, what goes in the parentheses for the small box? So this was the big one. There you go. 4x squared plus 36x. Jesse, what do I have to do with this minus right here? Change this to a plus. What else do I change? The 4 to a negative and the 36 to a negative. Okay, Daniel, what goes with 14x squared? Which gives you what? 10x squared. Gracie, what goes with 24x? And so let me do my chart for that. So Gracie, where does the 24 go? Where does 36 go? What do I do next? Good. And I add or subtract? Good. So it gives me negative 12. And I have to put an x with it because that one had an x and that one had an x. And Chad, there's one more thing to put in my answer. Negative 8. Good. All right. Oyo.